Hey everyone, Matt Pisarcik from RazorEmporium.com today to talk about the grandfather of all razors, the single edge razor. Now, many people may not know that when they think of safety razor, they usually think of Gillette, they think of a double edge razor, or they think of a cartridge razor or whatever. But the real origins of all of this was the lather catcher single edge style razor. So if you haven't seen one of these, kind of assembling one right now, this is the Gem Junior. Now this came out, the Gem company came out in 1898, but the real origin of this style of razor was 1875 with Camphy Brothers. They were the first brand to ever think of taking what looks like a little miniature kind of snippet of a straight razor, like a little slice of a straight razor, and putting it onto what they described in their patent as a hoe handle. And we're talking hoe like you're out in the garden and you're tending to your crops with your hoe over here. And this little kind of idea turned the world upside down, because up until this point in 1875, all men and barbers and whoever were using straight razors. So they're sitting here, like this, with a blade perpendicular to your face. This was the first time where it now was on a handle, and you really could control it and then get a lot more finesse with it and do it yourself. It was a lot easier. You had to maintain these blades, however. They needed just as much care as a straight razor. They needed to be sharpened and stropped, and a lot of care around them. And it wasn't until a little while longer, Gillette was the person who took this and changed it into a disposable blade, as we know. But this company overall always was about single edge blades. They never went to the double edge, maybe here and there, a couple little models in the 60s or whatever, but always a single edge line of razors. So we have, of course, the grandfather was Starr, Camphy Brothers, right, 1875, New York, coming out with the first hoe handle. But then one of their chief employees, Mr. Jerry Reichard, he ended up leaving in 1898, and he founded the Gem company. And if you look at the Gems, like I just showed you, and then look at the Camphy's, the Starr brand razors, pretty much identical. But really quickly, Gem was outpacing the grandfather company, the Starr company. And just a few years later, Jerry left again, and he formed Yankee, which then became Everready. So he's out now making Everready brand razors. Like this, that's a Gem. They all look the same because they kind of almost all are. And then in 1906, these two companies, Gem and Everready, merged into what's now called American Safety Razor Company. I'll spare you more of the history lessons, but bottom line is that this line of single edge razors is very different than a Gillette style double edge. Many different handle combinations. Some are 3-piece like that, or like this style. This is like a 1912 style where you can take the handle off. These all now use the blade that you may think of now as a box cutter blade, but they all came from Gem. I'll pull one out. They also later acquired the Powell brand of blades. So if you see Powell blades, it's part of that same company. There we go, mangling the packaging there. So yeah, standard blade, and we'll pop one of these into here just to show you. And you open up the little lid, you drop this into place, and there's usually these two little retention teeth kind of right here that hold it in place. And the shave on one of these, very different. If you haven't got a Gem razor or an Everready or a Powell, if you haven't had an opportunity to shave with one of these, please give it a shot. It's completely different than a double edge feel. A lot stiffer. The angle that you hold out is a lot more perpendicular to your face. It's a lot more up like this versus like this. And the feeling alone, the blade, you feel so much more of the blade. It ends up feeling more stiff. If you have coarse hair, or if you are someone who has ingrown hairs, these are actually really great for that kind of hair type. And it feels a lot like a straight razor. So if you like that kind of feel, like feeling the blade of a straight edge, the Gems are going to definitely be up your alley. A lot of different varieties over the years. They kept on, playing with the design, modifying it. Like this is something from like the 60s here. You kind of have a little push top like that to pop your blade in. One of the most popular, and we sell tons of them, is the Micromatic. So kind of is like a double-edged Gillette that has the convenience of the butterfly or TTO. So you just turn the little knob here, and put your blade in and lock it down in place. But whichever gem or Everready or PAL you choose, have fun, experiment, because this is a completely different world from double edge. Really cool razors. In terms of blades, I think it's only just the Gem and the PAL line of single edge blades out there. There's not a lot of variety of these. That's the one drawback. You don't have a ton of different choices, but they are out there. Oh, and one quick note on that. These are not the same blades that you find at Home Depot. So you got to buy them from a shaving outlet like RazorEmporium or other shaving outlets out there that actually are for shaving. They are honed differently. If they're meant for scraping paint off a wall versus cutting your hair smooth and efficiently on your face. So make sure you get the right blades for your gem razor. That's all I got. Have fun, experiment, try out a single edge razor, and we'll see you next time here at RazorEmporium.